So you immerse yourself in your work.
Yeah,
You are a participant.
sometimes I get pretty messy, you know. I'm a participant almost totally these days, but I always have, part of me always hangs back and wants to look and watch and look for the right angle and figure out how to capture it. So I never get 100% involved. I get 95% involved, and part of me is still looking for the big click.
So would you say your work has changed your life?
Oh yeah, several times. Several times. It's changed where I live. I used to live in New York. I came here because the photo opportunities and the lifestyle are much more interesting here. It's changed how I look, how I behave, who I hang out with, what I think, what I do, you know, where I go. Yeah, my work has totally changed me.
What do you think you've learned?
Well, I've learned that people are more important than places. That's really an important lesson. You can be miserable in Paris, you know, in the best hotel in Paris if you're by yourself, or you can be having a fantastic time in a closet in the Haight-Ashbury if you're with the right girl. Community is really important. People are really important. I learned that. For a while I dropped out and moved to Woodstock, New York for a while, back in the woods. I was having a lot of issues with alcohol and drugs, and big city was driving me crazy, and New York was, you know, in my face. And I wanted to get away from everything, but I got too isolated. And then I woke up one day and realized, hey, this is not working because I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
So I've also learned that you have to be part of the community and not an outsider trying to exploit or look for cheap shots or, you know, rip and run. That does not work. I work with permission. I work on the inside, and most of my work these days is collaborative. I work together with people, and when I'm finished, I give them prints, I show them the videos, I write them thank you notes, and then they come back and they do more, and they bring their friends, and it becomes a real kind of community service almost.
So a lot of these people that you're shooting are your friends.
Yeah, and if they're not my friends when I start the session, usually by the time I finish, it's hugs all around, and when are we going to get together again, and what do you want to do next, and yeah, so on. I mean, you've worked with me, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. All right, I got a question for you.
All right.
So how did you evolve from your work, your original work in, for example, Wall Street, to the work that you're doing now?
Well, I decided I wanted to photograph behavior instead of buildings. I wanted to photograph people up close instead of far away. In Wall Street, it's like little robot people and big walls. And I was making a statement about alienation and social control and so on, which is interesting. And geometrically, it was fine. But I wanted to get back to some more sort of in-your-face pictures and up-close pictures of strange worlds and deviant behavior. And I mean, that's my thing. And I had to make a conscious choice at one point which way to go. And that's what I chose. I chose to go into Mondo Bizarro more deeply and leave the formal kind of academic stuff behind.
So is that because that's where your life was going more?
It's because that's what makes me the highest. I do this kind of work because it makes me excited and high. And also I really like meeting the people and getting into their worlds. And that's clearly the direction that I chose to go in, and I paid a high price for doing that. Some people won't touch my work because the subject matter is way too radical.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably could have done a lot better if I'd stayed with the formal sort of classical blue chip kind of art photography. But I wouldn't have had as much fun.
What about men?
Well, you know, I've shot my share of men, especially in the early work, but lately I'm shooting girls. And I like girls 18 to 25 or so, sort of barely legal, and I like the San Francisco punkette look, you know, ripped and torn, and the Haight Street look, lots of makeup and sort of goth or punkette look. The other night I was giving a book signing at Modern Times bookstore, and somebody said, "Why Messy Girls? Why didn't you do a book called Messy Boys?" And I said, well, because I'm not really into boys. I had one gay experience in college, and I didn't really care for it. It's not my thing. I like girls. That's what makes me excited. So, you know, I don't really think about my subjects all that much. I just do it, and I gravitate toward whatever attracts me. And beautiful young fetish girls are what attract me.
So you're using your photography as a way to get off.
Well, yeah, it makes me excited. Also, it makes money, and I have fun, and I travel, and people like it, and I get fan mail, and you know, it's a whole life. It's my social life. It's my business. It's my pleasure. It's a way to get high. It's a way to be creative. It's a way to document some things that are disappearing. Some of these scenes are done behind closed doors, and you know, I'm really privileged to be allowed to come in and document it and bring it back and show it to everybody else. So it's partly amateur anthropology, it's partly a love affair, it's part obsession, it's part sexual, it's part getting high, just like you get high from a drug, you know. Sometimes when I'm doing a shoot, I lose track of time and I cross over and become one with the event. And I go into a zone, and sometimes I get lost out there. I want to stay there because there's no past, there's no future, there's just right now. And it's so nice and it's so complete. I don't want to leave.
But what do you think about the validity of the work in terms of fine art, is your new work as opposed to your older work, which is also tends to be more like behind closed doors, set up scenes, as opposed to, say, documenting the community or what's happening?
I think it's all valid as long as it's well done. And I've consciously shifted gears several times. I've gone from street reportage to personal portraiture to forbidden subjects to almost architectural photography with Wall Street to what you might call softcore porn with messy girls, or with some of the dirty pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I've also done pictures about blood sports and other kinds of extreme body modification. I've done straight black and white. I've done color. I've done collage. I'm kind of restless in that I want to try all the different styles and all the different subjects, and then let history sort it out. You know, I don't really know right now what some future historian might think is my best work, and I really don't care. It's my job to make it. Let somebody else sort it all out later.